This all facts, this ain't no verse shit. I done fought the state on some verse shit. Feeling like Franklin the day he touched his first brick. Martin Luther, 40 cal SKO the fucking Ruger. Don't ever question if I got the hunch.
Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam and Viral Hip Hop News. It's a special Saturday edition of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What up, bro? We are definitely back in the building after just a small little bit break, but we ready to get into this today. I want to give a shout out to all the family who's been listening to us, watching us, sharing the videos, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you're listening. Keep doing your thing, and we definitely going to keep delivering the content to you each and every day of the week. But Sam, man, how was your little weekend, man? You're breaking all that.
Man, it was dope, man. But it's always good to come back here. It's a Saturday edition, so a lot of the loyal subscribers are going to be surprised to see the content dropping this evening and tomorrow from us because they're not used to it. They're used to us having off, but rest assured we could do this on any day, every day, all day. Always expect us to put in the work, man. But that being said, it was a great week. I watched Avengers Endgame, seen that shit twice.
How was it?
It was dope. It was as advertised. I needed to see it.
Right.
Closure. If you're a Marvel fan and a movie fan like that, man, if you're not, then shout out to you because then we had to wait in them long ass lines, getting snacks and shit and getting tickets. But all in all, man, it was a great week. But I'm excited to get back to work. How was your week, big dog?
Oh man, it was great, man. Just went down, South Carolina for a little bit.
Word.
Just enjoyed that, situation down there with family and everything, and just back, man, ready to get back to what we do. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. This is what we love to do. And we're just going to talk about some things and hopefully, somebody can learn something from listening to the podcast today, man.
Let's tell them, man. Shout out to everyone listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets. Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, and of course, the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel. We do appreciate y'all. You heard the sounds by Riz featuring Conway the Machine, more Malcolm Less Martin. Check that out in the description box now. Yeah. Oh, God, let's get to it, man. What we got first?
Yeah, man. I actually want to start off with the Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Because people who don't know, man, Jay-Z had a pretty historic, night, from all accounts. He brought Cameron on the stage last night, and he was at Webster Hall reopening that. It's the first time since 2017. Going in, it was just big. Everybody probably sees the Instagram clips now. Brought Nas out, and people said it was pretty a big night. I didn't see a lot of it, but the clips that I did see, it was real dope.
I mean, it goes as advertised. I don't know. I think I was talking about it prior to us getting into the podcast, how much the tickets were, right? And they were going for a pretty hefty fucking dollar. Like you had to put some money into going into that, but you see why, because he, as Jay-Z always does, puts on a show. And I think another thing that I really caught my attention, it was a black tie affair. Anybody that went out there and performed, they had on black tie. They were dressed to impress. It was real dope.
Right.
Man, it was really impressive to see. And obviously the freestyle that he dropped that has Instagram going nuts, that will drop for the people exclusively on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play if you have not heard it. Yeah. And we'll get into our commentary about that, man, because Jay-Z, like no other, is probably one of the only people that can drop a freestyle and have us having a conversation about it. He's one of those.
But let's play it. Let's play it for the people, especially the people on iTunes and Spotify and, all the other podcast networks. And we'll talk about this. Here we go. Jay-Z talking about Nipsey Hussle. Right there's a portion of the freestyle that Jay-Z dropped, in honor of the late Nipsey Hussle. Sam, man, what do you think, listening to that, man? What are your initial thoughts on, the freestyle and what he said in that freestyle?
It makes me it makes me confirm my thoughts, and I got to put that money up next time he does some shit like this, because I need to be involved in the energy that was in that room, because we just heard a speck of what was going on in that concert hall, Webster Hall. Him just opening it up at 2, or it would have started about 10:30. Amazing show. Mm-hmm. And Jay-Z, like no other, coming off the top of his head and just vibing with the people, almost like if it reminded you of Hendrix or somebody like that. And he's kind of fucking starting to look like Hendrix. Is weird. Right. But for him to just come off the top and just give people gems and drop game and just a culmination of everything that he's doing, man, he's still a step above a lot of people at the age that he's at, the business mogul that he's at. Jay-Z could drop an album tomorrow and it's shutting shit down.
Yeah, well, here's some of the words again. It says the neighborhood designed to keep us trapped. They redline us so the property declines if you buy blacks. They depress the asset and take the property black. It's a ruthless but ingenious plan. In fact, goes on, to talk about what Nipsey was trying to do. If you don't know Nipsey, pretty much his pretty much story that he likes to boast about when he was alive was pretty much him selling his CDs in the parking lot, and then eventually going back, pretty much being told to leave this parking lot, having problems with the police, being kicked out and all this, being able to come back and buying the whole lot. Not only that, properties, in neighborhoods, pretty much just going back in your community. And Jay-Z talked about this on the 444 album.
Yeah.
He talked about, what you do is, and this is his words, take the drug money, if that's what you must do to come up to survive or whatever money, and reinvest and buy the property, back in the neighborhood and the community, because other people are doing it. When you call it gentrification, eminent domain, or whatever, you see them, they come in and they taking advantage of that. And this is why, we just attended the DJ Envy, which is one of many people that do real estate seminars to kind of just show people that, look, this is possible for you to do as well. You don't have to be a millionaire to do this, but but if you can't just complain, you got to take action. But to get back on Jay-Z, I just think that what he's doing right now, man, is just like, how could you, not to say that I heard anybody, going against him. You talk about modern day prophets. You're talking about people who, I don't even want to, put anybody's names out there, but people who may not have been musicians or stars, but were just orators and spoke about the different things going on. That's what he's using his platform for. I just got to salute it. It's dope.
You have a lot of people saying you riding on Jay-Z's jock for that one in the comments. But you know what? I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, and he's not done yet. And we're in a day and age where if you gave anybody some motherfucking credit, or if you put them on a pedestal of greatness, you automatically dick rider. You're doing this or you're doing that. Nah, man, the Beethovens of their time and the Stevie Wonders of their time and the all the greatest of their all time, we may have to just be paying attention and understanding before he leaves this earth that we're looking at a certain level of greatness. And for him, like I said, to come off the top and have the energy that he brought to charge shit, if it was 10 grand, motherfuckers would have still packed the house out. And for him to deliver the show that he's still delivering in a way that he's doing it and dropping it in the way that he's doing it, man, he is our modern day one of the greatest artists. If you want to look at our art the way that you look at it, if you want to draw or create literature,
I would say all people as well.
Exactly,
definitely
that's what I mean.
Definitely as well, artists, top, but just like a person who came from, just like Nipsey, came from people criticizing for the gang stuff, and they said, oh, maybe he did this in his past. And Jay-Z talks about the drugs, and everybody has a past, but coming from that and realizing the wrong that you did and correcting, now using, because you got way more power now than you had as a drug dealer in New York City or whatever you was at. Now you're damn near billionaire. You and your wife combined, pretty much him too. I'll just give it to him. Jay-Z's a billionaire. Now you got power, you got influence now. And this is what he's saying and doing with his platform. I mean, I just think it's a great thing. I hope people just take heed, and I want to see us come up. You know what I mean? So I'm happy about this, man.
I want to read a little something about the end. Just about the atmosphere in the room and what was going on, because none of us got to see it if you ain't pay the money to see it. You know what I mean? So it's courtesy of Billboard. Hove took the stage at 10:30 p.m. Unlike his first B-side concert, the Brooklyn virtuoso cleaned up nice, draped in a dark blue suit with a heavy gold chain wrapped around his neck. The Kingdom Comes intro, the first prelude trickling through the speakers. Hove gauged the room's temperature, approached his mic, and delivered a lyrical assault over his 2000 track. This time around, Jay's mission was to delve deeper inside his prolific catalog, and the end result proved priceless. A sea of oohs and ahs blanketed Jay as he biked his way through Young and Gifted and Don't You Know. Oh, and he's in his bag tonight, yelled one zealous fan as Hove raced his way into Lucifer, smiling ear to ear. Jay rapped the West Coast or West produced track with elastic ease, stretching out every bar for extra emphasis. Damn. Just read this for the first time. Sorry about that. When he walked his way through his Blueprint 2 record, somehow, some way, the tail end of the song, Hove elected to go in a different direction after telling his longtime engineer, DJ Young Guru, to lower the bass of the track. Hove went into a 2-minute long freestyle dedicated to Nipsey, who was shot and killed outside his Marathon clothing store last month. You read the lyrics that we heard.
Yeah.
And we only seen 45 seconds of it.
Oh, man.
So it was probably crazy in there.
Yeah, man. Again, man, Jay-Z's he's real selective. I mean, a few years ago, he did the thing where he talked about, the record companies and what they was doing. And, he even mentioned YouTube, in that freestyle. I'm telling you, man, this is, we really need to, like you said, man, appreciate who we see. Now, all the time when you see something like this, you're going to see the criticism about this, that. They come with this territory, but it's just like, take heed. And we should really be appreciating, this, because this is a situation where you're going to wait till this brother's gone or something. And then, now it's like, oh, we crying and he was trying to do this and he was really doing this. We didn't know he was doing this when he was alive. And, they start bringing up all the stuff. And if you listen to Jay-Z's music, like, we're fans of Jay-Z. So we seen the progression, and we always kind of seen him, even early on in his career, he talked about going this way with his politics and how it's really no secret when Jay started, the 5% and all that. So I think it's just great, man. I think it's great.
Oh God, I gotta bring it up, man, just for the tail end of the conversation, just to wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
Not to put any drama to the end of this conversation, but it got to be said, man, because we were talking about all the names that would air. We see Cameron, Clapham, or them two kind of put the stamp on their beef and piece everything up. Jim Jones was out there. We heard rumors of other Rockefeller alumnus out there. We won't say their names until we confirm that all the way. But one name in particular we know wasn't there. And given the history and given his apology and him wanting to throw that olive branch out to Jay-Z and the olive branch seemingly getting put back and thrown back, what does that say to you? Because he's seemingly piecing everything up with everybody else in that circle. But the main piece.
Yeah, well, I guess you're probably alluding to Dame Dash. Yeah. Him, Kareem, which he's cool with Kareem now. You know what I mean? Him and Dame, pretty much, Jay-Z and Dame, haven't, at least in the public eye, made amends. So now you see, like, him, especially with the Rockefeller brunch, you've seen everybody kind of coming out, that even with in contact with Dame, had, maybe Dame even had help. Now cool with Jay, and everybody's cool with Jay. Now even Cam, your Harlem, roadie, your boy, pretty much is, what I'm saying, cool with Jay. So hopefully, I would say this, maybe it's either one of two things. Either somebody did something or seen something, between that partnership that they're never going to, maybe they can be cool, but they'll never be as tight as they were as far as like showing up in public and stuff like that. Or maybe something's going on behind the scenes where maybe we might see that in the future. Or it could be the relationship is scarred to the point of no repair, with that situation. I heard rumors about allegedly what people done. I'm not going to repeat those things because I don't know if they're true, but, I don't know, man. A lot of people are bringing that up. So what would be your thoughts, though, on why you don't see Jay-Z and Dame Dash, making amends, at least in the public, but you see guys like Cameron and everybody else?
I really, for the amount of just how powerful that would be for them two to just be back in the public eye together, showing solidarity, throwing away all differences would be spectacular. And I think both of those people know that. And Dame Dash obviously publicly coming out saying he wanted to squash it and do this, and Jay-Z in typical Jay-Z fashion, not putting out any information, just nothing. Yeah. But his actions are speaking for themselves, and we had never seen anything publicly with them two coming to men. So it must be personal, man. And we can't speculate, and I'm not going to speculate on what, but it must have been something deeper than what we know because you look at this, the significance behind how that would be, and them two parties knowing that, why it wouldn't come together and happen. It must be something there deeper than what we know.
Do you think there's a slight possibility that maybe this could be drawing, kind of a bridge, him getting cool with Cam again, that could bring a bridge, to bring Dame back with Jay? Because, I mean, my thing is, like, I could see a situation. I don't care. We ever cool again. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you have people like that as well. It is what it is. I don't wish no hard feelings against them. I want them to be successful and all that. But people have those relationships. I don't know, man. But do you see, the possibility of them being, something behind the scenes happening as far as Cameron being a bridge between those two?
No, oh God, I don't know, but I hope so. I really hope so, because I want to see it happen. I would love to see it happen. I think it'd be great for the culture to see it happen. But who knows, man? Until that action happens, We're never going to know. We'll never get any kind of detail or anything like that. And as of right now, the answer is no.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, hopefully.
Because I think even Biggs was like, he don't know what Dame was apologizing about. I think that was the official statement.
What does that mean?
Remember when Dame Dash came out and made the apology, and he specifically named people. I think Biggs was one of the people.
So is it like, y'all, we good? Don't apologize? Or I don't know what you're apologizing for.
We don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear nothing.
Right. I just don't know, man. I mean, from Dame's own mouth, you can kind of see that is what we think it kind of is, where it's like they're not talking, they're not speaking. I mean, there's no real beef, but they're just not cool like that. I think that's just where it's at, and then that's where it may remain.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe again there was a line that was crossed, and there's stories out there of lines being crossed where it's like, yo, I don't think I can never trust this dude again in my presence or around my people or whatever, girl, wife, whatever. So I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Definitely. Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam. Man, we want to encourage everybody that's listening on YouTube to go in the description box or iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Type in the Uncensored Truth podcast, and you can find a full podcast right there in its entirety. I know a lot of people, say that the video is a little shorter, but the full podcast is on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I want to jump over to this story, man, because this is a young man that we've been covering extensively, but over the last 2 years, but definitely this situation when he was incarcerated. And this is Meek Mill and Judge Janice Brinkley, who've been having, I ain't gonna say a battle, but she pretty much been making his life a living hell for the past 12 years. Well, Meek Mill, pretty much everybody knows he's always at the Sixers game. He's good friends with Michael Rubin. He wants to travel with the Sixers to Toronto. And we know that that's a different country. Mm-hmm. So pretty much Michael Rubin put out a statement. Here's what he said. He said, Judge Janice Brinkley, I know you have a vendetta against Meek Mill. And you're obsessed with trying to control every aspect of his life. But did you really not approve him to go to rep the Sixers in Toronto for a game? As soon as the schedule came out, Meek asked probation for approval, and probation immediately approved it. And I guess Judge Janice Brinkley came in and said, no, Meek Mill, you're not traveling to Toronto. Sam, man, what do you think about this? Because obviously we know that Meek was released after he spent a lot of time in there, but he came to a situation where he kind of was out and he was traveling and he kind of thought everything was good. Now we see the situation where she comes in and says, I don't care what probation says, you're not traveling anywhere. What do you think about Judge Brinkley, man?
I got a couple thoughts on this. Well, one, first off, when you look at the reasoning as to why this man cannot properly travel out of the country, state to state, whatever he travels, the amount of hurdles he has to jump over to be able to just do little things to be able to provide income for his family is ridiculous. Right. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you look at 12 years worth of probation for crimes that were proven not to be committed.
Facts.
He shouldn't be on this shit. And when you look at a judge who seemingly, and no matter how you kind of weave your way around it, it looks personal as hell, with vendetta against him or something against this dude, for her to continue just to make his life more and more of a living hell, because one trip of a shoelace or anything for Meek Mill, he can end up right back in jail and in the same situation. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But let's think about this on the other side. Mm-hmm. This is fucking basketball, man. This is basketball.
Damn.
So you got people in here getting all crazy and riled up.
It is
about a fucking game.
But no. I mean,
hold on.
But I understand that. But you got to look at it. And here's what Michael Rubin goes on to say. He says, and most importantly, if this happens to Meek, what do you think happens to the average person who can't afford great lawyers, etc., on probation? So it's a bigger picture here with somebody in a system like this, who sees thousands of people probably over a career, and has pretty much, for lack of a better word, shitted on these people. And everybody's not Meek Mill, but who knows if she's having a bad day? It's not supposed to be like that.
No,
it's supposed to be where it's like you're not supposed to see no color. You're supposed to just look at the offense and make the right determination of what this person. You're supposed to judge them justly according to. But she got a personal vendetta against this dude and saying you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of allegations of her, showing up and popping up on all types of stuff. It's been 12 years. The guy didn't do it. The officer's always proven to be a liar. It's just a situation where it's like it's no power stronger than her right now. She's making his life a living hell for as long as she wants to. And if you don't be careful, I commend Michael Rubin for doing this, but like he fucking around, get this dude locked back up. He might just trigger her. You know what I mean? To you know, because now it's like, you know, all the blogs is talking about this in the paper now. Everybody's just, you know, I'm sure she's getting emails and all type of different things like that. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, but I don't know what you think about that.
I 100% agree with you that he has to be careful because one false move, he could end up back in jail. I completely agree with that. And when you look at it being Meek Mill and the amount of money that he got put into his legal team and trying to get out of the situation, things being proven and thrown out, and none of that shit's free. So it was a lot of money put into that, where the average person dealing with situations where you just got a judge banging the gavel and throwing his life away, he or her life away, and don't have the opportunities or the luxuries as a Meek Mill has earned himself to get. It's disgusting and it's terrible, and it happens to inner city after inner city after inner city throughout this country. And it should be noted and it should be justified. And so I'm glad that this basketball game can kind of bring more light to that, because no one's denying the fact that this is fucked up for Meek Mill. No one is. Right, no doubt. It just makes me laugh that people are crying about him going to Toronto. The game's gonna be dope. That shit gonna be dope. But I get people's frustration. Like, this should be something easy. He should be sitting courtside with Drake talking shit, partying with people. But anybody getting mad at and man, this is funny.
I mean, you know, I look at it like this, man. I mean, he got this dude. He's powerful. He owns, I think, Fanatics. He owns all these companies. Sixers co-owner.
Shit, man.
And stuff like this. He's fighting for this dude. You know, it's a great thing, obviously. You know, but it's just like, I don't know, man. They just need to try to get him out of the situation as fast as possible. I know they're filing petitions, motions, and getting lawyers and everything, but nobody can undo what the judge of this, that she's appointed, you know, by the people. Nobody can undo what she's doing right now. So it's tough, man.
You know, oh God, I want to throw a little bit of a slant into this, because we've seen Robert Kraft going through his drama, right? And we seen they were threatening the tape coming out of him getting the happy ending and all kind of wild shit, and people wanting to see that nasty nonsense. And now come to find out it wasn't. And then the lady that was providing the business venture, she ends up getting locked up, but Robert Kraft doesn't. There's a whole big old thing about this. Yeah. Meanwhile, everyone's mad at Robert Kraft, and no one's talking about this prison reform bill tying in Meek Mill, Michael Rubin, Jay-Z.
We talked about that, Sam, man. We talked about that immediately. Yeah, we talked about, we can go back to the tape. There's so many of it, but, you know, we could find a point where we said, I wonder who they're going to go after first. I was thinking maybe it'd be Meek. You know, obviously they got him now, but it's just like, you know, to Jay-Z, which one of these billionaires or millionaires are going to make an example out of with their media, or just bring something up that they may be doing? Now, I'm not, whatever he did at the parlor, you know, with the women is between them. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. The guy, he's a grown man. He did that. But it's just like, once the media gets it now, you know, people are focused on that. They're focused on Meek not going to the game. Where's the prison? I don't hear anything about that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. You know, we called it. We called this, you know, months ago, because we don't think that it serves the best interest of the, you know, I ain't even gonna say the word, of the handlers, you know what I'm saying, to have a bill like that really be successful, to get people out of prison. Prison's a multi-million-dollar business, man. You got a lot of free labor, you know, you got a lot of free labor, you know, a lot of contracts and things that are getting done for pennies on the dollar, man. And you got a lot of young, you know, well-to-do, brilliant people in prison that they're getting a lot of free labor out of, free and exploitable labor. So I don't think people want to see that go anywhere anytime soon. The profiters of that. Why would they? We know this country is built on big business and making money and making profit and doing it by any means necessary to do so. And if that means locking the majority of that being black young males up to go and push that big business, why not? It reminds me of the cotton era. It reminds me of slavery. It reminds me of America throughout fucking time. It's just a little bit of an evolution. And the difference is between those days and now is we have a lot more control, because they throw it right in our face, but it's this invisible fence up that we're afraid to cross because of discipline or this or that. We can get into the fucking stereotypes of the reasoning. And that might even be more, you know, sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
Even more of a challenge than a physical fence. being up. You just got to just get over that and go. But like if you having something mental, it's like, man, you know, when you got something mental, it's hard to kind of shake that thing.
It is.
You know what I mean?
And and I hate to be this preacher always, because I've been talking about this the last couple of podcasts, but it starts with the diet. And I have to bring it up because in our inner cities, they don't have the proper nutrition to even starting young and starting with the mothers and things like that. The nutrition is terrible, and then they don't have avenues for the places to get proper produce and things like that. And then you talk about diabetes. You go and where I go work out at the gym, you got the trampoline place, and then you got a dialysis center. Where the mall is shutting down, a dialysis center is being built. Now, dialysis center, you're great. They're helping out people with kidney disease. But how many fucking people got kidney disease for there to be centers being popped up everywhere? Now, that's in different counties. That means business is being conducted here. So it starts with the diet. And a lot of our people, and I'm seeing a lot of people even, they're putting up fraud videos of Dr. Sabi and things like that. You sent me a very, very great video by a very intelligent brother. And I'm starting to see that kind of piggyback and grab some steam. And it makes me laugh because you can think what you want, but it's put it in context.
You
can think what you want. Now you can whether you agree with some of his notions, whether you can prove him being this or that or this or that. It really bothers me when you have people call this man or call any person a fraud without there being proper or without there being nothing done behind that. Now we've came on this platform and called people fraudulent. We have. But we've also backed that up with legitimate evidence. We've also put feeling behind that, and we've also practiced everything that we preached. That being said, when you see a lot of people criticize Dr. Sabi in particular, you have people throwing in this notion to certain things, but not identifying or not addressing the truth behind a lot of the things he did say, because they're afraid to identify with that because it serves to a certain luxury and a lifestyle that they fail to get away from. And that's the big elephant in the room. Yes, he may not have cured people. Yes, he may have been found guilty in court or found fraudulent in court. Yeah, he may have said some bullshit, but his overall premise of eating right, eating healthy, teaching the people and giving them a different perspective of how we're supposed to eat is getting totally taken away from this. And that's the thing that bothers me about it.
And you know, you're right about that. But there are also, you know, some people, you know, in that particular bit, I don't know if he gave him any credit, but I saw a few other videos where people did give him credit for the plant-based, you know what I'm saying, the lifestyle and things like that. I just think that, you know, that he may have over-exaggerated a few claims.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it just is what it is. I mean, they had the court hearing, they found out what it was, and that's what it was. But again, I think people don't need to lose focus of, you know, what he was really preaching, and that's the plant-based, you know, diet. Now, whether it can heal, you know, whatever, you can be the, you know, the judge of that, you know, and if you say that you're healed, you should be able to, you know, go to that doctor, and if you had something before and then you start your plant-based diet and you don't have it after, then you can say, okay, this did it, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think that's cut and dry with that. But obviously we know for a fact, even without Dr. Sabi, that plant-based food, you know, and healthier choices are over or better than processed food. All day long. Yeah, you know, I mean, not everybody knows, but it's a fact. That's already a fact.
Common sense will tell you that. You don't need a Dr. Sabi, or you don't need anybody this. Common sense will tell you, if you're brought into this world naturally, what comes and gets birthed out of this world naturally should be what is consumed. And if you got things coming out of the ground, fruits and vegetables and things coming out of the ground, even to a certain degree, if you believe that the human is carnivore, omnivore, you have livestock out here to properly be taken care of. There's food out here, nutrition for you to be taken care of. But when you look at things being engineered, when you look at some of these slaughterhouses and how these animals are being treated, how they're being, I guess you could say slaughtered and cut up. If you talk to a butcher who takes pride in that, even though I don't personally agree with it, people that take pride in that and do their job correctly, they'll tell you there's certain ways you got to cut the pig and cut the cow and do this to avoid certain things to dripping into the meat. There's pride into that. And a lot of these slaughterhouses don't give a fuck. So you don't even know what you're consuming, on top of the fact, and we can get deeper into this, it properly being digested. But no matter what you think, if you think it's plant-based, if you think it's you eating meat, whatever you think, just doing the proper research and throwing and getting your own perspective after doing the research is important. Whether you believe in the Bible, we could talk about this with religion, politics, whatever. just don't be manipulated into just believing one thing, or just because you hear fraud, don't think this, or just because you hear this dude is a god, don't just believe that. Do your research after hearing it and gain some knowledge from it. You know what I mean?
I think that's the main thing. Do your own. Don't listen to these dudes online, and if you do, fact check them.
Got to.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it.
Yep, definitely, man. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sam Ant on the special Saturday edition. We'll be back on Monday, coming up this week, obviously with a full work week ahead. So check out for us, then we had the NFL draft over the weekend. I just want to say it was a quote that the Browns quarterback, said. I'm going to read this real quick, 'cause I thought it was real dope and I loved it. The fact that he said this, Baker Mayfield, he said, all these NFL analysts still crack me up, just bringing guys down, saying what they can't do when they all aren't on even the athletic level to play chess or checkers, excuse me. Congrats to everybody who got drafted tonight. Keep making positive people proud and keep proving people wrong. And I laughed and I like it and I screenshotted it, because I'm looking at all the analysts and I'm watching the draft and I'm seeing them saying, well, this guy, he needs to work on this better, and this guy can't do this, and this guy's not going to do this. And they even showed one guy showed you one of the incidents, where he got into a little altercation and whatnot. I was like, man, I never seen it like this at the draft. But it's just like, I liked it, man. I liked it because it's just like, in life, you're going to have the people, who are going to think they have you figured out. And you can't do this, you can't do that. You should do this, you should do that. And the NFL, is that thing where you got to, even when you get drafted, but you got to prove yourself. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all, the people, if they watch our program, who did get drafted, man. You got an opportunity and to make something, make your family proud. Because it's like, you look at the families, and once they get called and they get drafted, their family and their life has changed forever at that point. So I just wanted to share that real quick. But what's your thoughts on the NFL draft?
Yeah, man. Well, the NFL draft, it doesn't hit me the way it used to, obviously. I still paid attention to it. And when the more I look at it, the more I laugh, because I could just break little things down. But that being said, like you said, man, when you see these young brothers, their dreams coming alive and then working since grade school to get to this life right here, and their parents and their families kind of praying for this to happen, to get them out of a situation that they may have been in, it really kind of just brings a joy to your heart. But that being said, like we were talking about in the pre-production, that's where the road just starts. It's almost like you don't want to fall from the ladder now, because it's the highest you're going to be, and it's going to be the hardest you'd fall if you would just to mess up here. So you make sure that you take care of your body, take care of this, even though unexpected things happen in the NFL. Hopefully that you take some of this money and learn some investments and things like that. We're in a day and age where you can get a lot of game and a lot of gems simply just looking at your IG and looking at your phone at the right people. Yeah. So this little bit of money that you may be getting now, these blessings that you may receive, instead of maybe throwing it to, because we know how it is, man. Yeah. You get a little bit of a blessing and family just starts flying from every fucking
Especially this guy like 21, 22 years old too, man.
And they throwing your money and your dollars right in front of you. Yeah. Like, it's all on the internet. It's all on, it's trade for everybody. As soon as your contract gets dropped, everyone knows what you make. Yeah. And they don't understand about guarantees. They didn't give a fuck about taxes. They need sneakers. They need a car. Right. Exactly. Lawyers. Yeah. They need the crib. They need this bill paid, that paid. So it's an incredible amount of pressure. But if you can discipline yourself to even ignore that for a second and properly set yourself up so that you're straight for the rest of your life, man, these blessings that you're about to receive can do that. Be smart, learn from the greats that fucked up in the past that are broke now, some of our favorites, and hopefully, man, y'all could all be successful.
Yes. And we're going to definitely talk more, in the coming programs about the NFL. And like we had a real good conversation. Our best conversations always pretty much happen in the pre-production, believe it or not. But we were talking about, them and the free labor that they give the colleges and the high schools, and them just getting the contract, and, them being millionaires. Yeah, a lot of them, but in comparison, it's really still pennies on the dollar. But we're going to get deeper into that the next time, on the program. We like touching topics that other people, few people really even dare to even dive into. That's why we call ourselves the Uncensored Truth podcast. We just going to keep on delivering, this nonstop content, man. We committed to it, man. Indeed. And we look forward to Monday. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned Monday evening and Tuesday morning. Obviously, we'll have a full slate of content in store for you where we get into this whole college football situation a lot more. We'll talk about Clemson's coach and his deal and how that equates to the NFL, the college players, and we'll have a great
conversation, a great podcast. Salute to everyone that watches, listens, wherever platform, whatever outlet you're listening or watching on. Salute to you on this Saturday evening, man. That's all I got over here. Oh God, if you ain't got anything else, blessings to y'all, man.
Yep.
And we'll be at y'all asses Monday, man. We out of here.
Yep. I need one person, everybody that's listening, man, share this with one person, text it to them, post it on your Facebook timeline. I don't care what platform you're listening on. Please do that for us. We appreciate you. We out. Peace.
Peace.
This all facts, this ain't no verse shit. I done fought the state on some verse shit. Feeling like Franklin the day he touched his first brick. First trip, I did 95 all night. The Chuck Taylor Converse off-white. The laser at your eyes if it's on sight. Gray solar red with the orange stripe. When I brought the